Greetings from the International Labour Organization and its Cooperatives Unit. Congratulations to our friends in CECOP and Francesca Martinelli for the launch of the research report, Lights On. This is a timely report that documents how worker and social cooperatives can assist workers and enterprises in the transition to formal economy, with a specific focus on Europe. The financial crisis of 2007-8 and more recently the global COVID-19 pandemic have instigated exponential growth of freelance work and work in the platform economy in developed countries of the global north, including Europe. These types of work are often informal in nature, with substantive decent work deficits, notably lack of written contracts, paid leave, or social protection coverage. As the friends in CECOP very well know, ILO is the specialized agency of the United Nations responsible for decent work with a mandate for social justice. Being a normative tripartite institution of governments, workers, and employers organizations, the ILO develops international labor standards that address decent work deficits. So when we say decent work, we mean work that is undertaken in conditions of freedom, equity, security, and human dignity. This is also enshrined in the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 8 on promoting sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Around the informal economy, the ILO has a recommendation concerning the transition from the informal to the formal economy, which is recommendation number 205 that was adopted in 2015. It refers to the informal economy to encompass all economic activities by workers and economic units that are in law or in practice not covered or insufficiently covered by formal arrangements. The recommendation acknowledges cooperatives and other social and solidarity economy units as a means to facilitate the transition to the formal economy. It also deems transition to the formal economy essential to achieve inclusive development and to realize decent work for all. Decent work deficits, when we say that the recommendation notes the denial of rights at work, absence of sufficient opportunities for quality employment, inadequate social protection, and the absence of social dialogue as such deficits, which are quite pronounced, of course, in the informal economy. Employment in the informal economy has been widespread across the world, especially in developing countries of the global south for many decades. There's been a great deal of thinking on the transition to the formal economy, the pathways, and this also extends to thinking and documenting the different types of organizing, strategies, and business models. Undeclared work is a form of informal work which can be diverse in nature, but often hidden. While in the global south, we see informal economy more widely. In the developed countries of the global north, such as in Europe, undeclared work is more prominent. According to global estimates based on data from more than 100 countries, the ILO estimates that about 2 billion workers are in the informal economy, representing 3 out of 5 employed persons. And informality is highest in countries with lowest levels of income, and across the globe, youth and older workers are most likely to be in informal employment. In Europe and Central Asia, the ILO estimates that 25% of workers make their living in the informal economy. Cooperatives and other social and solidarity economy organizations can offer opportunities to improve legal and social status of workers in the informal economy through self-help, mutual support, collective representation. And around the world, many workers in the informal economy establish membership-based organizations, including mutuals, associations, and cooperatives. Cooperatives also can help with the bargaining position of workers engaged in informal work in general or undeclared work in particular, vis-a-vis the public and private sector actors. They can facilitate access to social protection. They can also improve the economic viability, resilience. They realize cost savings through shared services and increase incomes through increased production or diversification of product lines. Many governments in the global south have adopted policies on the transition to the formal economy, where cooperatives are specifically mentioned as distinct forms of economic organization to be promoted. In cooperative laws and policies, and more recently in framework laws of social and solidarity economy, governments are also taking note that cooperatives and wider social and solidarity economy units can make the transition to formal transition to the formal economy, facilitate that for informal economy workers. And around the global pandemic, many policymakers have recognized the role that cooperatives play as social actors and partners, especially in emergency response. It's of course important that cooperatives are recognized also as economic actors that need to benefit from the stimulus and recovery packages. Moreover, they need to be considered not just as short-term emergency response partners, but also for long-term partners for building resilient communities and strengthening local economies. I would like to slowly conclude. At the ILO, we consider cooperatives as critical players in advancing decent work and social justice. The ILO has had a cooperatives unit since 1920. The International Cooperative Alliance has a general observer status at the ILO. The ILO Constitution refers to cooperatives, and ILO's promotion of cooperatives recommendation 193 that was adopted in 2002 considers that a balanced society necessitates the existence of strong public and private sectors, as well as strong cooperative, mutual, and other social and non-governmental sector. And as you may know, in March this year, the ILO's governing body decided to place on the agenda of its 2022 International Labour Conference an item related to the social and solidarity economy for a human-centered future of work. This will be a general discussion. And in this context, cooperatives are recognized by the ILO constituents across member states as key components of the social and solidarity economy. Next year, of course, also marks the 20th anniversary of the adoption of ILO's recommendation 193 on the promotion of cooperatives and the 10th anniversary of the International Year of Cooperatives. So it will be a big year. And this first ever general discussion on social and solidarity economy is an opportunity to shed light on the growing diversity of enterprise models that are based on values of cooperation, mutualism, and solidarity, and which combine social, economic, and environmental objectives. Of course, it will be important for the cooperative movement from European worker and social cooperatives, but also across sectors and regions to actively contribute to the preparations leading to this general discussion at the International Labour Conference. At the national level, engaging with the governments, employers and workers organizations at the regional level, at the EU level, engaging with the regional organizations. So we look forward to thinking with you on that front, and I wish you a successful launch and look forward to our continued engagement. Thank you.